Hi, welcome to the Josilyn Drake Show. I am your host, Josilyn Drake. Today I'm excited about our show. You know, motherhood is really such an awesome responsibility. This is the month of Mother's Day, and I wanted to kind of just encourage moms. And in my thinking of who I would have on my show in that aspect, I thought about a good friend of mine. I've known her for 45 years. Who has a powerful story and is like the mother of mothers in my eyesight. And so I want you to help me welcome to the Josilyn Drake Show, Landriss Story. So welcome to the Josilyn Drake Show.
Thanks for the invite.
Thank you. Yes, I'm so excited to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a mother of 6. I am a wife, grandmother, and I enjoy family. I love family, Jocelyn.
Yeah, and you do. Oh my gosh, and you have a big family, and all the people love coming to your house. Like your house, you know, in every family there's a place where everybody likes to congregate, and your house is that house.
Yes, ma'am. And I seem to can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know, with 6 children, everyone have different friends because of the age group. So my house just stay crowded. Now they're pretty much out and gone. And here's the grandchildren.
Yeah, so you start all over again.
Yes, ma'am, and I love it.
I know. You know, not everyone has a heart for family like that. Like not everyone has a heart for just making sure everyone's good, everyone's great. Everyone, I think, in their family line will have that one person, like when they're gone, all the family functions and all of that kind of cease because it was that one family that we were blessed with to think about all of us and to make sure we all fellowship. And I kind of think about you being that person, you know, and it is such a blessing to have a heart like that because honestly, everyone does it. You know, we're running after everything else apart from making sure that our families are straight. So I commend you on that.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And so you said you have 6 children. Woo! You look wonderful to have 6 children.
Thank you.
Yes, and another thing, you turned 50 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you just got to celebrate your birthday.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, my birthday is actually, April the 20th, which is tomorrow.
Oh,
so I'm going to have a little something in the house as well. So, hey.
Oh, wow. So you celebrated it early. I attended Landriss's 50th birthday celebration that her children and her husband gave her, and it was phenomenal. Just to hear the people who spoke about her and all of her friends, and she's had friends, you know, from 20 years to 40 years and 47 years, you know, and many of us can't say that. So that speaks to her character and her integrity. So happy birthday.
Thank you, ma'am.
Awesome. So your children, can you tell us their ages?
Yes. Reginald is 29. He'll be 30 this year.
Okay.
D'Angelo is 27. And he has a birthday this year. Then we have Franzia, which, everyone calls her Queen.
Yes.
My mother's first granddaughter. So when we found out she was a girl, she was Queen.
Okay.
Queen is 26. Mickey is 23. And I have Shakira, she's 21. And Louise is 18.
Yes, you just finished. With your last one. He graduated from high school.
Yes,
was it last year?
It was last year.
Yeah, awesome. Can you think back of times where you just thought, like, how am I going to get through this with raising, 6 kids? Like, how am I going to do it? Have you ever had that burden?
I did. I don't know if you remember first initiative, the doctor said I wasn't going to have any children.
Oh, wow.
I actually had 9 pregnancies. And out of it, I have 6 children.
Oh, wow.
And I just thank God that you can't trust your total belief in me. I know the doctors are here for a reason, but they said I don't have. I'm not going to say it was hard. It was just life and situations kind of made it hard. But beyond that, It was easy. Whether people know it or not, I think everyone should know children love structure. They love you getting on them. They may not show it at that moment in time, but they loved it. And that's what we had. We had structure at home. I took time with them. Just old school. I read with my children. Did the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. We had a bookcase. We did family stuff. And like I said, we did breakfast, we did the lunch, we did naps. You have to do it all. It's all about, to me, structure, and along with the love. And another thing, Josilyn, I was always real with my children. I could sugarcoat anything. Why? Because this world is going to show you. And you have to prepare your children for the world.
You said a lot that I wanted to kind of piggyback and go back on. I think one of the things you said was the fact that you couldn't have children. See, I never knew that. Or they thought that you couldn't have them. They told you that. And then for you to not only have just one, but 6. Oh, wow, what a testimony. That is very powerful. Wow. So for any of you who are out there who may have lost some children, I know how that feels as well. I've lost one in 2000, but Landriss is a testimony to the power of God, that man's word is not the final word. So I want to encourage those mothers who may be having infertility issues. Just trust the Lord. He's able to do exceedingly, as we see with Landriss, and abundantly more than you could ever ask or imagine. So wow, 6 children when you were told that you couldn't have one. That's a blessing. And your kids are so well respected, as you were just sharing how you reared them, and never sugarcoating. And they are some of their spirits, just to see their smiles. Like, their smiles light up a room. All of them have the same smile. I know it came from you. It is just so beautiful. Yes, yes. And they're very well mannered. So in raising your kids, like, all of them are different. All of them have different personalities. And so how did when did you first learn that I can't treat all of them the same because they're each individuals?
Believe it or not, that second one. Like D'Angelo. That's my tough cookie, everyone. D'Angelo is my tough cookie. I learned with the second one that you can't treat them all the same. They are different. When I say different, it's different as fingerprint. And you're raising them the same, but you just have to take a different approach. For your tone, what you have to choose your words. Because one, you may have to just be, and the other one, you can't give them that. You don't want your children to ever shut down. You want to always keep a door open for your children to be able to come to you and be able to talk to you. When I say about anything, because who best? Because this world is not going to do it. So I learned early in the game. I have to reach them on different levels.
Yeah, we love them the same. We love them the same, but our response and reaction to them is totally different. I can remember my kids would say, my daughter would say, I loved my son more than I loved her. And my son would say the same thing. And it wasn't that. They just saw that I responded to each one of them differently. Yeah.
And you know what? I tell them all the time, when you have yours, then you'll be able to understand.
Yeah.
I cannot do you all the same.
Yeah.
I can't, because I need the reaction from you of the obedience, of knowing that I'm looking out for you. So I think that's something that everybody should take in. Just you gotta know your children. See, you and that was another thing. You don't know how to discipline if you don't know the child. And you have to get to know your children. They're innermost, not the outward. You have to get to know them within. And God has given it to us. It's the point that we're going to tap into it.
When I first asked you, I think the second question, you talked about how it wasn't hard but life circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I can say about you is, regardless of whatever was going on in your life, like, it never stopped you from being a mother. Like, that was always your top priority. I even think that that was probably the thing that kept you pushing, kept you going, was the fact that your commitment to these kids that God trusted you, your responsibility, like, you took that to heart. So how can you encourage other mothers who are going through things? You know, life always happens. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. But sometimes when life happens, some mothers just get totally distracted. I mean, they're focusing on whatever is going on, and while their kids are just uncovered in things for anyone to come in and do whatever they want to. How did you do it? How did you just stay focused in spite of, you know, life? Just continue to stay the course and know I am a mom, and I'm going to make sure that these children are covered regardless of what's going on in my life.
To be honest with you, Josilyn, it was God. I got saved in 95. You know, I had my first child in 89. And, you know, as time was going on, I started noticing I'm not going to bring my past into my children's life. And what I mean by that is the way I grew up. I love my mother. My mother instilled a whole lot in us. She really did. And I love her for that. You know, but at the same time, we were in situations that we shouldn't have been in, you know, in an abusive home. Mm-hmm. And through it all, I watched my mom, how she pushed through it all, you know, despite of, you know, she still kept us fed. She didn't, you know, go out there and get on drugs, and, you know, she kept a job and she took care of us. But it was still something missing. You know what I'm saying? I see some weakness in her. And I'll be honest with you, you know, when it comes down to a man, you know, if I can just be honest with you, what helped me with my children. So with that being said, you know, later on in life, I end up with this guy, you know, that was abusive. And I was still in the mode of protecting my children because my mom was trying to protect us. Then I had to realize it's something. I can't do this without her. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't have the strength to leave. Mm-hmm. So it was just a lot of things, like I said, with the abuse. I had to leave and depend on her. I felt like I didn't have anywhere to go. You know, at first it was, you know, it was with the two children. And then here it is, the third one. Where am I going for 3 years? I mean, yeah, I could go back home, but we won't see where they go back home, you know. Got saved and getting into my word, and I'm still going through some stuff. He was still being mean, you know, abusive. But I just gravitated to my children, you know, and just praying to God, you know, to help me, you know, get out of this, you know, show me what to do, you know. And like I said, through that, so they were brought up in the church, you know, and just, you know, talking to them about God all the time. God just rings through the air out, you know, through the house. And of course, you know, the enemy didn't like that, the man didn't like that, but you know, I kept on, and I just kept gravitating toward my children. And still telling them this is the way you're supposed to be. And you know what? Especially my boys. And you know, at this point in time, now I would advise women to put your children through an abusive relationship. Because you know what? They may can't make it. You know, and come through it like my children. You know, the last 3 really didn't know, you know, anything, because, you know, at that time, you know, because you and I were, you know, together, I was coming out. Mm-hmm. But I do see that something affected my children, you know, if I can be honest. Mm-hmm. And there have been some regrets, but still through it all, you know, I know because I kept Jesus in the mix the whole time for it to be able to rub off my children.
Our parents, our house that we come off of can play some powerful places and put us in some situations in our lives that sometimes we don't even realize, like, why am I going through this? And after you get a little older and you get a little wiser, you kind of look back and you kind of think about the thing like, oh, my mother went through that. And if we don't break some cycles, our children will come right behind us and do the same thing. And so I commend you for standing up, for rising up to the occasion to ensure that your children, to ensure that that curse, that generational thing was broken with you, so that your children don't have to go through it, or neither do your grandchildren have to go through it. Because you were honest. I don't think your mother may have ever had that conversation with you about what's her issues, and we harbor resentment sometimes and don't even recognize it.
Yes,
sometimes, and when we have that resentment, we end up in the same stuff that we resented, and it's, I just want to tell everybody, if you're holding somebody, let them go. Let them go, because if you don't, you pull that right into your own life. They're not worth it. Just let them go. Let it go and move forward. Like you said, you stood on the word of God, and because of that, he gave you the grace to be able to walk it out. And you said something very powerful about the fact of staying, because I had 3 children, and where else could I go? Sometimes we stay in stuff for the sake of our children. A mother's love is just something, really amazing. And some people may say, well, I stayed, but at the same time, it was causing issues with our children. Some things are just a catch-22. It's just a catch-22.
Yes,
you can't change what has happened. But gosh, I can look at your children and say that the Lord has been good. He has been good. He has kept you regardless of what you went through. It didn't affect your children like it could have. It did not. That's a blessing.
And I thank God for just about every day, Jocelyn. I don't live in my past, but it does come up. And you know what? It's okay that it comes up, because at that point, I can give God the glory for the things that I have been through. I can write a book on the things that man had done to me, and I am still here standing. I am here, and I have my children. I love them so much. And, oh my God. And that oldest one, Reginald, when I tell you, when his dad and I got together, it was a struggle. It was a power struggle, because he had been protecting Mama for so long, and then for someone, his dad to come in and, to pick the role up. Oh my God.
Let me stop Landriss right here. So Landriss, when she says she can write a book, she can write a book. Landriss has a fairy tale story almost, in spite of all the things that she's gone through. We want to first also send a shout out and a thank you to her son Reginald, who's serving in the armed forces, protecting our country. Hi Reginald, we love you. We pray that God will continue to keep you safe wherever you are. And so today, Landriss is actually married to Mr. Reginald Story. And there is a story behind that story. Landriss and Reginald were high school sweethearts, and in the process, some things happened through the years, and they found themselves back together. They had a son together. Things went on with life, and so they found themselves back together. How many years later?
Oh my God. Maybe is it 12? I'm thinking
12 years later
or something like that. Yes, ma'am.
So they were destined to be together. When I say that this woman has a story, she has a story, and it turns out to be beautiful. God says He makes all things beautiful in His time, and He is making a beautiful story out of Mrs. Landriss' story. Life. And so there's so much more that I want to say to her. We are going to take a break, and we'll be right back. We are here with Miss Landriss Story, and if you've been tuned in, I was just telling her I'm trying to keep from crying. This powerful story from this woman of God who can just be a testimony to all of us, the ability to stand in the midst of life and come out well. God has created such a beautiful story in her life. And so, Landriss, just thank you for being so candid and honest with us. We really appreciate it. I know that you're helping someone. You know, we as ladies, sometimes we go through things and our focus is, I want to pay this man back, or, you know, we're just so depressed because of what has happened. And our children, as I stated earlier, they're just left to themselves, you know. So how can a woman regain her focus, gather herself, and keep her eye on the prize, which is to raise children that will be a blessing to her later on in life and to society?
Well, what I had to do, Josilyn, it wasn't that, you know, I'm trying to be heartless toward the man, but at the same time, he was a man. He's grown. He's been raised. And at the same time, you know right from wrong. With that being said, here are children on my hand. I can't lose them. And I'm not talking about like to DHR. I'm lose them to this world.
Welcome back. If you have been tuning in, I know that you have really enjoyed the powerful testimony that my guest, Ms. Landriss Story, has been sharing with us. It is amazing how God can cause you to not look like what you've gone through. I'm so excited that she's been very candid with us, and I know that she's helping someone. Thank you so much, Ms. Story. Appreciate it. So you've raised your 6 children, but you've also raised others. Like, they literally lived at your house. Tell us about that, and what motivates you to do that?
I guess it's a gift from God. Because I couldn't tell you, but I just love children. I mean, I love people, period. But children, I just love children. Yes, I've had my cousin Carla, her 3 children live with me, and they didn't move out until graduation.
Wow.
My cousin Tasha, her child moved in with me, I think his 9th grade year. And he didn't leave until after graduation. So they do get a diploma before they leave back.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Landriss, what a powerful story, y'all. 6 kids and then raising 4 others. That is you have to have a heart to do that. You know, and may the Lord just restore you and bless you for just your willingness to go beyond what you were assigned to do, but to help others when they couldn't do what they needed to do. That is a blessing.
And it's not like they were there because to be, and it was fun. Because sometimes my children was asking, "Why y'all want to be over here?" Because they got to cook, they got to clean up, they got to wash walls, I mean, you gonna do the whole 9 yards, and I just keep coming back.
Yeah, I think what you said is children really do like structure. You know, sometimes we can be too easy with our kids. The Word of God tells us that if you love your children, like you will discipline them, because the Lord disciplines us, and no discipline feels good at the time. So, but they love it because it does something to them to know that somebody cares enough about you to teach you the right way. And there's so many kids that are just left to their ways. And also reminds me of the scripture said, kid left to their ways, just always having their own way will come to ruin. And I think that we are raising a society of children who are being ruined because we don't take the time to say no. We don't take the time to correct them when they're wrong. We want to get mad at others if they try to correct them when they're wrong. And so what you end up having is baby, or you end up at the courthouse, or you end up at the cemetery because you didn't take the opportunity when you had the time to raise your kid and to instruct them in the way that they should go. And now they're just wreaking all types of havoc on society and on you as well. So kudos to you in just ensuring that you took the time out to instill values and integrity and character in your children.
Because I think what we need to realize as parents, and of course mothers, it's not about us anymore. You know, I'm just beginning to be able to live my life, and I'm enjoying it. But I had to put me on hold, and that was another reason why I got to give myself to God. Because I'm gonna need Him for these kids. I need Him. I couldn't still done it without Him. But it's not about us anymore. Once you start having children, and it's not about you anymore. It's about them in your life. Have to be them.
Yeah, I don't think sometimes we know the huge responsibility of that. Sometimes we want to have children and still do what we've always done and never make that transition, to motherhood. And I feel, we may need to consider that if you don't want to make that transition, don't have them.
Do not.
So that you can make sure that you're being faithful and good in the responsibility that you have.
That's right. And to bring up, productive children that's going to be young men, young women, to be able to run this world.
Right. I totally agree. What is the best advice that you could give to young mothers?
The best advice that I can give to young mothers, Josilyn, is first, put God. Make Him your number one priority. And instill God into your children. And live that life of the Word as much as you can. No one's saying that you got to stop doing this, you got to stop doing that. But just try to live the Word of God as much as you can with the best that you can. And showing your children. We can talk all day at our children, but I promise you that life that you live speaks volume, to your children. And instill in them morals. That helps a whole lot. Teach them to love each other. Because at the end of the day, when mama gone, daddy gone, you all you got. Keep that bond with your children and let them have a bond with one another. That's pretty much like my best advice that I can give. And God is gonna do the rest. You do those things, you get those morals in there, and the love is the number one key. You gotta love them and teach them to love. And you gotta teach them when they're young. You know that, right? You gotta teach them when they're young. And simple as sharing. That's showing love. Teach them how to share. And I promise you, you won't regret anything. And it's going to roll out the way that it should.
Awesome. Hey, I just thought about something. How did you teach your children not to covet or compete with one another? It's like huge. say for instance, you go to someone's house and they have something that your children may not have, and then they come home and they feel bad about it, or if someone does something for one person but don't do it for you. Say for instance, a grandmother does something for this child's, this couple, but don't do it for your children. How did you teach your children not to take it personal?
Well, it's funny that you use that for an example, because, the man that I was with before, and married, just going to be honest, his mom would, for Christmas, the other grandchildren got all kind of little trinket of toys. My children, you 6 of them, somebody going to get a pair of socks. Somebody going to get a pair of underwear. Somebody going to get a pair of t-shirts. I mean, it was items like that. Never a toy. And I know that was hurtful to my children. It was hurtful to me. So I know it was hurtful to my children. And I know that they noticed those things. But it was okay. Because what you need to teach your children is no one owes you anything.
Right.
No one owes you anything. And it's okay. Competing with the world, no, that didn't go on in my house. All the Jordans and all that. Okay, you got to sit your children down. See, we have family meetings, and we still have them to this day. Even those that do not live there, when I feel that we need to have a meeting, I need you to come on over. It's time for a meeting. Well, I sit them down, and I let them know that Mom needs to pay this light bill. When they want certain things, you have to be honest, like I said, with your children. I can't buy the Jordans and buy you this. Now, Mama might can get the Nikes, and Nikes are okay. How about be you? I raise leaders. I do not raise fathers. And I still say it to this day because I have grandchildren. You don't have to have everything someone else has. And how did they get it? You don't know how they get it. And you think Mama's going to go in the hole because the Joneses over here is doing this and doing that. At the end of the day, Josilyn, and I'm being truthful. My children has never looked shabby. But I'm not fixing to go do all this stuff that I can't do, at the time. Now, I would say the last 3, they got it a whole lot better than the first 3. You know what I'm saying? But long as you're clean, you look decent. If I told you don't have the 2 outfits, you keep them washed, and you keep them ironed, and you keep them nice, and you hold your head up. Because clothes don't make you. You make the clothes. You know what I'm saying? So, but you have to still get them down there when they little. You don't go get them everything that they say they won't do. They deserve it. Because at the end of the day, where we mess up at as parents is that's your money. You're the one that's out working. It's not their money. You know what I'm saying? And that's something they need to realize. Children don't realize that these days. They sit back, they online, they know when the latest this and that finna come out, and you at work. Your check already spent. You're not gonna spend money. I mean, because it's I never want to raise them in a fantasy world. And whatever you want in life, you work hard at it and you get it. And it'll mean much more to you than me just giving you something. They had to earn, Josilyn. They had to earn it.
That's powerful because today, we grew up wanting to give our kids more than what we had. And I think what we've done them such a disservice because we never taught them the responsibility of earning. So they think that everything should be given to them. And so when they grow up and they can't afford to buy what you bought them and you're no longer giving, then their only response to that is to go out and sell drugs or to rob stores or to do something that's not right, just to continue the lifestyle that you taught them was who they were, because they actually think, we teach our kids and we just give them all these things that I'm the clothes, I'm the Jordans that I wear. I'm the Apple because I have an iPhone. I'm this, I'm that. And those things never make you. It's who you are on the inside. It's the type of person. Are you kind? Are you generous? Are you considerate? Those values, that's who make you, not the things that you possess, because things break, things get old, but you'll still be there. You know, so I think you said something very powerful. We need to rethink about what messages we're sending to our kids when we're just throwing them all this stuff. And then as well, we are busting our butts, excuse my language, to provide all of these things. And they're stuck here, you know, at home 50% of the time because we're trying to do all of this. That's really unnecessary. We just, as you stated, teach our children the value of life and who they are has nothing to do with what they have.
And you know, another thing I've done, everybody works. And you know, I'm being truthful. Everybody works. Started with little Reginald. And you start out with household. When you get paid, I don't care if it's running out the door, Jocelyn. I need the toiletry stuff in here. And when little Reginald stepped up, it was D'Angelo turn. Toiletry went to him, little Reginald a bill. And it just trickled on down. And it has worked. Because when they get out here on their own, they need to know how to pay bills. They need to know you're supposed to get your needs first and foremost, and your wants later. But see, they were taught that also with, you know, getting toys or certain clothes or shoes or whatever. Long as I'm providing your needs, don't worry about the wants. Earn your wants. And so with that being said, that's teaching them once they get in their own household, you know.
Also, well-rounded children. You know, you could actually write a book on parenting, teaching young mothers how to do it through classes and courses, because one of the things that's so needed and necessary, because unfortunately we have children raising children, and it's being passed down. And unlike growing up in our times, you know, we had mothers that taught us how to be mothers. And so today children are just doing things that they see on television, or mom hasn't given them the sound doctrine or instruction on how to be an adult. And so they're just going through, just doing whatever. And the children are the ones that are getting the tail end of it. And so, you know, hopefully you can step up and maybe do some, you know, YouTube videos or something on parenting, because it is so needed. Our children really, and our mothers really needs just sound instructions and direction on how to raise kids, especially in this time. Miss Story, thank you so much for coming to the Josilyn Drake Show. You have really blessed us, and I look forward to having you back.
Thanks for the invite. I was happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know that you have enjoyed Miss Story as she has shared her heart with us and her powerful testimony. One thing I do want to say is to say hello to her husband, Reginald. You want to say hello?
Hello, Reginald.
Reginald,
love you.
Yes, Reginald is a powerful man. He's come alongside of her and raised these kids. You know, they have a powerful story, and I look forward to maybe having them back to share it with us. Be blessed. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. The Josilyn Drake Show never stops. The conversation continues on Facebook and Instagram. Follow us, like us, and be a part of the conversation. Until next time, enjoy life. See you next week on the Josilyn Drake Show. Get Jocelyn's new single from her upcoming sophomore album, In This Place, on iTunes and all digital outlets. Log on to jocelyndrake.com and get your Dear Younger Me apparel.